It's an iconic FCIAC rivalry has been set. Once again, it's Darien, New Canaan for the FCIAC Girls Lacrosse Championship. It's a beautiful evening here at Jack Casagrande Field. I'm Thomas Aponte. Joined alongside me is John Frieders. And both these teams having convincing performances so far to get to this game. Darien winning big over Staples and having a nice win against Wilton 12-6 in the semifinals. New Canaan having a really great win over Norwalk and pulled it out against Greenwich late on. And so what are the key matchups coming into this game? Because you know there's a couple, and it's really highly anticipated.
There are a lot of key matchups out here tonight, Thomas Aponte. There are 25 Division I commits between both of these teams. So essentially you're watching a college lacrosse game here at the high school level. But a couple just to get started, obviously they tied 5-5 last game. It's scoring battle, really not a scoring battle, a defensive battle between these two teams, between Hope Shudell on the Darien Blue Wave side, in between the pipes, and then on the other side, CC Patterson, both committed to play at the next level. Hope Shudell going to Duke, and CC Patterson off to Notre Dame. So it started off with the goalie battle inside there, and of course, in any playoff scenario, a good start is crucial, and it starts inside that draw circle. Sadie Stafford and Devin Russell, two of the best on both of these respective teams, club teammates over the summer and during the offseason, but when it comes to FCIAC time, when it comes to playoffs and regular season time, these two girls turn it up, not with each other, but against each other. Devin Russell going to Boston College, the senior committed, top 5 in the country in the class of 2024. And then Sadie Stafford also committed to Duke. You'll look for that matchup time and time again inside the draw circle tonight, and you'll just see it time and time again, and it'll be a big draw each and every draw tonight because it'll give their teams possession. It'll start off the game strong, and you need that in a game like this.
Yeah, we saw Darien really get off to that good start that you're talking about last week on Monday against Wilton, and they kind of just kept that lead that they got at the beginning. They won a lot of the early draws, and whereas New Canaan, they were off going, back and forth with Greenwich, and you really didn't see them coming to their own until the final quarter really of that game. So getting that crucial start is going to be a big factor here. So as we get ready on the draw circle, this one's up, and this one is going to be won by New Canaan.
New Canaan with a good start there. Draw one picked up by Norton, then given right off to Devin Russell. You'll see the Rams set up their offense right now, play patient, look for the best look. You can't throw away shots in a game like this because these goalies, these offenses are too good. You need to maintain possession of the ball, and that's where the game's going to be won. Possession of the ball and then scoring with the chances that you're given, created for yourselves. But look for cutters early on for the New Canaan team.
Yeah, we mentioned those key matchups on the offense side at the top here. And Darien did a really nice job on Monday against Wilton, shutting down their key players on offense. And so they're going to look to do the same here.
Yeah, the Blue Wave defense, my apologies, has done that time and time again this season. In the first matchup between these two teams, the Blue Wave defense face guarded Devin Russell and Lexi Tully, who two are the best offensive powers for this Rams team. They did that. They face guarded them and stopped them, and then they slid if they were to get past them. So the Darien defense doing a great job in that game, and a great start here for them as that ball's picked up by the Blue Wave.
So mishandled there on the New Canaan side. So Bellissimo will pick that up, and that'll get tossed around back up to Shudell. So now Von Kennel with it as she looks to try to get this Darien offense set.
Yeah, and Thomas, you got to think that this game's going to be a low-scoring game. It was 5-5 the last time these two teams played. That was the lowest scoring game for both of these offenses this entire season. These defenses shine and really come out to play when in the New Canaan-Darien rivalry, and you see a little bit of extra physicality in these games.
And you just see your starters there for Darien as they line up. Pretty familiar faces all season, pretty big key players here as Stafford will take it.
I think that's one thing that both of these coaches do well, Coach Woods and then Coach Linney on the Blue Wave side, right? They keep their roster consistent. You know who's going out there. I mean, both of us were able to kind of tell the starting lineups before going down there, but we kind of knew who was going to start because they've been starting all season.
So nice turnover there from New Canaan on that last possession for the Blue Wave. As now Tully will take it across the restraining line. Tully getting pushed out by Vrooman. Now at X. This one going to be swung back out to the top with Patton.
Yeah, you'll see the ball in the stick of Patton. A lot of this game, right? Kind of the orchestrator, the assister of this Rams offense, opens up possessions, opens up opportunities for Devin Russell and Lexi Tully to make a cut towards the net. You see them kind of on the outside as they are right now, both up top. That was Russell over to Tully, but then you'll see them kind of move down, slide slowly, moving down. The Rams just moving the ball around here quickly, trying to catch the Darien defense on an off shift or an off cycle.
So now back at X for the Rams. This one back out to Patton, who tries to get over to Tully, but going to be picked up by Russell. Patton now with it, still looking inside.
This first goal will be a big goal, too. You mentioned the Rams just taking their time trying to wear down this Darien defense. But this first goal, whether it's New Canaan, whether it's Darien, is going to be a big goal. It'll give momentum to both of these teams. That was Devin Russell.
Here comes Russell.
Going inside. That ball was check free.
They're going to say no goal. Could look like for a second might have rolled into the net, but
probably a crease violation there on Devin Russell. Foot inside the crease.
Looks like it. Stafford now will take it with pace. She tries to swim through. Ram defender is going to back out of it.
You'll see Addie Crowley there, right, kind of guarding the crease. Going to look for someone trying to turn that corner quickly. We've seen the Darien offense do that a lot this season, right? They turn those corners around the crease, come around the crease, looking to shoot. We've seen it time and time again, so that's kind of the purpose of having those two defenders to the sides of Patterson.
Now Von Kennel with it. She'll try to have a go with her speed. And just like New Canaan and Darien taking their time, of course, you mentioned that first goal is going to be huge. Going to be a huge momentum setter for both these teams, as big crowds here tonight as well are going to help with shifting that momentum. As Reynolds will take it now to Von Kennel.
Yeah, where else would you be other than the 2024 FCIAC championship between these two bordering towns, the rivals, historic rivalry. I mean, this is the 5th consecutive season that they've met in the FCIAC championship as Patterson makes the save there. But the 5th consecutive time these two teams are playing during the postseason for an FCIAC championship.
A pretty insane stat, and just shows you the dominance of both these teams' side. Of course, they've met in the last 2 SEAC tournaments as well, so very familiar with each other in playoff contention.
And a lot on the line today. You mentioned neither team getting the result that they wanted after that first game this season, a 5-5 tie. No one wanted that game to be a tie. They played 2 overtimes. Most would have argued that they should have played a third, but a lot of unfinished business tonight on the field right now.
Definitely some unfinished business. No one ever wants to see Darien New Canaan end in a tie.
And that goes for not just the fans, but the players and the coaches. I was talking to a couple of the players on both sides. They were frustrated, just frustrated the fact that the game had to end in a tie. You know, most of these coaches would rather lose than tie because it's such a big rivalry game. But, you know, they tied, and now there's a lot of unfinished business, and we definitely won't end in a tie tonight here, Thomas.
Yeah, it definitely feels like fate almost helped in getting this matchup, as well as the skill of these two teams, as we just need a decider before the season ends. So now Janigo will look, gives it off to Patton. Lexi Tully with it now. This one given to Russell at X.
Look, you see two defenders kind of coming out. Russell trying to pass it inside, but two defenders sliding out on both Russell and Tully.
They find Russell inside, and that one's going to be a goal.
That was Maddie Tully there. Receiving the pass, then quickly turns around, shoots, gets it past Hope Shudell. Great start if you're the Rams. Maddie Tully, the sister of Lexi Tully, who we've been talking about, but the Tully sisters, two of the best offensive weapons on this Rams team. Maddie Tully comes in clutch.
Yeah, excuse me, there was Maddie Tully. Got a little confused there on the New Canaan offense, shifting around. But what a great goal. What a great find inside there for Tully in space. And just a quick turnaround and shot for a goal.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of the offense we'll see here tonight, right, is those passes, catching the defenses off guard inside. You can't shoot from the outside against both of these goalies. They're just too good. You can't take a shot out from 15, 20 yards against a goalie the caliber such as Hope Shudell or Patterson. It's just not going to end well. So you're going to see a lot of passing around, looking for cuts towards the net, and you'll see finds like that find to Maddie Tully there in the middle of the field.
Yeah, both the reflexes of these goalies are just too quick, so you're going to need an equally quick shot in order to get one past them. As now we're back to the draw circle, 1-0 New Canaan.
Kat Wren inside the draw circle for the Blue Wave. Devin Russell wins her second of the day, 2 for 2. Maddie Tully streaking down the field. You see the New Canaan Rams, though, going to set up the offense, up 1-0, the early lead against the Blue Wave, but not done yet. They still have to continue scoring, and if you're the Blue Wave, an off defensive stop here goes a long way.
Yeah, definitely going to need to find a little bit of defense here. Definitely don't want to go down too many goals, and once one of these offenses get rolling, it's going to be hard to stop. So vital stop here for the Blue Wave as Rowe now takes it. Now given to Russell. Now to Tully. Gonna try to wrap around here, looks inside. Gonna find Russell at the top. Russell gonna go herself. Shot, that one looks to be saved. So this time, Vrooman will take it now.
Saved by Shudell Vrooman, trying to clear the ball past midfield. You'll see New Canaan and Darien, both these teams aggressive on the ride. And that's kind of what got New Canaan back into the game against Greenwich on Monday night. You know, Darien didn't have to deal with that as much because they were up by a bunch of goals early on, but you'll see both of these rides really aggressive and the physicality ramp up in the Darien-New Canaan rivalry.
Yeah, definitely saw physicality in that first matchup. So I think we'll see more of the same now. As Darien will try to set up their offense, looking inside at Stafford. Who would jog this back around to X. Stafford now with it. Trying to make a move, trying to make a good dodge. Looks inside, not there for Picorni. This time it goes to Von Kennel. And she will be fouled.
A tough call there if you're Kat Norton, the Dartmouth commit. Not sure. She definitely probably doesn't agree with that one. You know, her stick just got called for pushing her arms out a little bit too much. A little bit of physicality there, a little bit too much, though. That'll give an 12-meter mark for Von Kennel.
So not too dangerous from 12 meters out. This time it'll go to Stafford. Stafford waiting for the play to run.
Yeah, you see the Darien offense a lot of times bunch up a lot of their players on one side of the net.
So they're gonna, looks like gonna be a violation.
Maybe a moving screen set down there. Definitely not the way you want to start if you're the Blue Wave, right? An early turnover, you gave up, you succeeded a goal to Maddie Tully, but a lot of time to get back into this game. 2:40 remaining in this first quarter.
We're already seeing that low-scoring affair that we anticipated here. Only one goal throughout most of this first quarter as Lexi Tully takes it. Going to give it off. This one going to be swung around back up to Patton. So New Canaan perfectly fine with taking their time here. This one swung back to the edge here. Patton nearly mishandles it, but recovers. This one is going to be mishandled and still going to be rummaging for the ball, are both teams. And it looks like New Canaan will come up with it. And then foul is going to be called on Darien.
And that's a tough foul, right? You're trying to get the ball. You're in the heat of the moment, just looking, kind of putting your stick up, trying to get up, reach up high, and then you come down, accidentally land a little bit of a slash, and they'll give New Canaan possession. But if you're New Canaan, you definitely don't like that. You can't have unforced errors in this game. The fundamentals more important in these bigger games, especially against the better opponents. But fundamentals in this game will win you games. Sometimes it's been shown time and time again. But both these teams really fundamentally sound. They've played fundamentally sound this entire season. And you talk about the Blue Wave schedule. What a schedule they've had. They got lined up. Coach Windley really put them to the test early on, playing some of the best teams out of the state, in the country, including St. Anthony's, right? McDonough, St. Paul's School for Girls. Those three teams, really top 10 teams in the country.
Yeah, that resume definitely helped the Blue Wave be prepared for moments like this for a team like New Canaan. And that's a huge pro to have coming into this game. And New Canaan, they've had their own fair share of good resume. So both these teams very well prepared and ready to go for this matchup.
Yeah, New Canaan also played St. Anthony's, who was #1 at the time, still #1 right now because St. Anthony's beat both of these teams, but a big part of that game, both of these teams, the Darien game was a little bit closer. It was a 5-4 game in double overtime. That was a heartbreaker, but New Canaan went down 8-1 in the first half against St. Anthony's. That just shows the power of a first half. Here's Emma Rowe
now on the
by
turnover
herself.
And that's a huge goal for New Canaan as time is running out in this first quarter. Rowe on the pass and the goal there. So what a big defensive play for New Canaan after they turned it over themselves. Just big heads-up play by Rowe, cutting towards the goal.
Yeah, the Blue Wave turned the ball over. That ball was picked up by Maddie Tully. Who else? Now a goal and an assist on the day. Then found Emma Rowe all by herself on a breakaway. And you can't give Emma Rowe, the Columbia commit, an opportunity like that. You can't give anyone on the field right now an opportunity like that. Darien does just that for New Canaan. Turns out in New Canaan's favor. And that one's a killer. Just 15 seconds left on the clock. And New Canaan's going to be up by 2. Probably going into the second quarter. We'll see. With big draw control, you'll see both these teams rush it into the offensive zone and look for their shot now.
Yeah, definitely a big goal to end this first quarter here. As maybe Darien just rushing a little bit as they try to move the ball over the 50-yard line themselves to get a final opportunity and just cost them another goal. So now both these teams get set for the draw. So now taking Russell will come out with it again. So now Russell streaking towards just 10 seconds to go. And nearly found, looks like Tully inside there. But Darien going to manage to get on top of that one. And that will end the first quarter here. So big start for New Canaan. Darien yet to find a goal themselves. So 2-0 New Canaan. And I mean, that New Canaan offense, they just came out and they won pretty much every draw and were able to just control the possession and make the most of what they got.
Yeah, so they did win every draw. They went 3-0. That was Devin Russell winning all 3 draws against Kat Wren. And you got to wonder in that huddle if Coach Lindley is going to change up who she puts inside that draw circle. Maybe see Sadie Stafford come out to open that second quarter and kind of change up the looks. I know New Canaan, both these teams doing that throughout the season, right? When you see something not working, you kind of address it. And they have so much good talent, both of these teams, that they can substitute in when the face-off and inside the draw circle isn't working for each respective team. Yeah,
so an exciting start here in this FCIAC championship, and we're going to take a break. Just a reminder, you're watching today's game on the DAF Media Network, joint venture between the Darien Foundation and the Darien Athletic Foundation, and we'll step aside and be right back for second quarter action. So we are back here for second quarter action, and as the teams both walk out to the draw circle, big change for Darien with Cameron Percorny coming in over Kat Wren to take this draw.
Yeah, and I think that's a smart decision if you're Coach Lindley. Throughout the entire season, Cameron Percorny has held it down, just a sophomore, but really one of the best girls that they can put inside the draw circle, and I think that's a smart decision. Even though Devin Russell wins that one, the Blue Wave going to be, or the Rams going to be in white going from right to left on your screen, and the Blue Wave going to be in blue going from left to right. Ball picked up, loose ball picked up by none other than Percorny, and given off to Shudell.
So nice turnover there for the Blue Wave. Maybe a little unforced there for New Canaan, as they maybe just try to rush it a little bit down the field. So Darien going to get a break after losing the draw. And now Von Kennel will try to take it up. She's going to be pressed high by Tully and Rowe. Goes back to Shudell, who goes back to Vrooman. Rowe still pressing high.
Yeah, and you'll see New Canaan, both these teams apply pressure on defense high up, kind of almost like that full court press in basketball, the full field press in a big game like this. You can't allow any open space for any of these offensive weapons to kind of get creative and show off their skills.
Yeah, of course, the risk, if you do the full field press well, I mean, it's going to pay off big time. But if the risk you run is that if they get behind you, then they're going to have a lot of space to set up their offense. But Darien doing a nice job getting around it efficiently and setting up their own offense here, as Stafford will now look inside.
Yeah, and if you're the Blue Wave, right, who are you looking towards to kind of get the offense going right now? Are you putting it in one person's stick, or are you going to continue trying to move it around in what hasn't been working?
I think we saw what worked well for them in the semifinal against Wilton is they just had amazing quick passing. They were finding cutters inside. They're getting quick releases off the pass. And, I mean, of course, New Canaan not giving up as much space as Wilton was inside, but I think you have to win this as a team for them. It's not just going to be one player. It's going to be a series of passes. You know, we saw Von Kennel to Adams a couple times in that last game. And, of course, you're going to want to look to get Stafford isolated and see what she can do in front of the net. And, of course, don't forget about Holmes on the wing. Usually she's going to play a big part in this offense. So definitely a lot of weapons you can use if you're the Blue Wave, and you definitely want to try to use all of them.
And one thing we haven't seen tonight is an 8-meter mark. You get another 12-meter mark for the Blue Wave. But in this first game, in the regular season game, you saw a lot of 8-meter marks. You know, New Canaan had a chance, an opportunity to win the game. In the second overtime, Lexi Tully went technically 1 for 4 from the 8-meter mark in that final quarter. But you saw a lot of 8-meter marks and a lot of physicality being called. You just haven't seen that tonight.
Yeah, definitely not many fouls within that 8-meter arc, which has helped both defenses keep their offense under control. As now Von Kennel nearly mispossesses that pass, but manages to recover and get it off to Stafford, who then gives it to Reynolds. Reynolds swings it to Adams. Now with it. With it is Holmes.
See New Canaan really not pressuring the ball up high here on the defensive side of the ball. They're protecting that middle in front of Patterson because that's where she's most vulnerable. Any goalie most vulnerable inside, close to the net, off the cutter pass inside. So you got to be protective. You see them just kind of leaving.
Makes a little fake pass and takes it herself, and that one's just going to be a little wide.
Yeah, but again, you see traffic in front of the net. New Canaan really forcing them to the outside, not allowing anything inside.
Yeah, I think it just goes to show New Canaan's trust in their goalkeeper. They trust that she can handle those shots from out wide, from deep. As now Holmes will try to make another move towards the middle, but has to bail. And this one swung back around to Von Kennel. Now Hapgood with it. Adams looking inside. Gives it off to Picorni, who then moves it over to Reynolds. Now Holmes will have another go at it. Back to Hapgood. This Darien team not looking to force a shot here.
I think they are looking to force a shot. They're just looking for the right shot. I'm not sure. Obviously not forcing a shot, but they're looking for a shot. They definitely want a good shot on net. They're just waiting for that opportunity where they get a little bit of shooting room, a little bit of shooting space, and they see an angle.
And we hear this New Canaan crowd cheering on their defense as they continue to keep this Darien offense at bay. Two great crowds showing out here tonight. This one is going to be swung around once again. Stafford with it. Stafford makes a nice move. Looks inside, but gets denied. Once again, a swarm of Ram defenders inside, and now that one's going to be shot and saved by Patterson.
A big save there from Patterson, and you know how that opportunity opened up. It was Stafford with the deke on the side closest to us on the wing. Then she tried to move more towards the center, then decided to pull it off and then fed it off to her teammate who had basically a wide open look. And then they get an 8-meter mark here, but Patterson with the big save.
So huge opportunity here from the 8-meter mark as Holmes now goes in. Shot, and that one's going to be a goal. So Darien gets on the board with a big opportunity for Kelly Holmes. as now the score will be 2-1 New Canaan.
Kelly Holmes erases the donut from the scoreboard for the Blue Wave, makes it 2-1, clawing back into this game. And Holmes converts off the 8-meter mark, and that's what the really good players do. They convert at a really high percentage from the 8-meter mark, and if you're New Canaan, you can't give up too many of those opportunities, because that is what will end up happening. It doesn't matter who's taking the 8-meter mark for the Blue Wave. You got that time. That was Holmes who scored the Yale commit on the 8-meter mark, makes it 2-1. New Canaan still up by 1, but the Blue Wave clawing back.
So Darien doing what they need to do and taking advantage of those opportunities. They forced the foul with the shot deflection off of Patterson, and then they made it happen for themselves with Holmes finishing it out. So now we'll see Picorni once again on the draw circle against Russell.
Yeah, and you look back at that offensive possession, the Blue Wave just kind of passed it around, looked for their opportunity. They got their opportunity after about 2 minutes. They got the shot on Patterson saved, but then they got the 8-meter mark, and that just shows, right, the patience of the Blue Wave offense paying off for them in their advantage.
So Darien will get this one. It was Katie Walsh taking the draw. So Darien will win their first draw. Now the subs will come in. So Adams will take it now at X. Now given to Stafford up top.
Again, right, no need to rush. About 6 minutes, 40 seconds left in this first half here. The Blue Wave, you're only down by 1. You have possession. The value of possession in this game is at much higher percentage, at a much higher value than it normally is, because both these defenses are just so good. And once you take a shot, you may not get the ball back for 3 to 4 minutes. So they play a slow-tempoed game. You're seeing that early on here. Just 3 goals in the first 18 minutes.
Yeah, with both these great offenses, you really just, the value of possession, as you mentioned, just keeping it out of your opponent's stick and giving yourself the opportunity to score. As now Stafford will take it. Giving it over to Reynolds, who then swings it around as it gets to Adams.
See the Blue Wave drawing up their famous play again, bunching everyone on that right side, then having the person at X, the girl, this time Adams, come around the other side.
Now Picorni swings it over to Von Kennel. As once again, Blue Wave bunch back up. Von Kennel trying to use her speed to get around. Finds Hapgood inside. Hapgood going to be denied, though. Tries to do a little half shot there at the end, but too much contact, and Patterson's going to come away with the easy save.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. If you're the Blue Wave, you get that girl coming around that time. It was Von Kennel coming around trying to turn the corner. You're trying to draw that New Canaan defender, draw their attention to that player that's coming around the circle and moving around the crease, and then open up. And that's where you just saw Hapgood kind of slide inside, look for the pass, and then look for the shot. Not able to get the shot off there, but you got to remember, Hapgood was the one that made it a 5-5 tie at the end of their regular season meeting. You know, she scored with 2 seconds left in regulation. A goal heard around the entire FCIAC. You look back at that play, great play drawn up by Lindley, and she's definitely got a lot of good plays she can run as the coach of this Blue Wave offense.
So now after that missed opportunity from the Blue Wave, New Canaan now back on the possession.
Here is Janiga for the Rams, the sophomore that's really stepped up this season. She wasn't starting at the beginning of the year. It's Phoebe Shue, number 5, in for the Rams, but she took over that spot. She's been producing for this Rams offense, and you've seen it time and time again, just feeding those offensive players, and then even taking a couple goals for herself.
So now back over to Janiga. New Canaan tries to survive the defensive pressure from the Blue Wave as Patton will take it now. Patton trying to use her skill on the dodge to create some space as now Russell will take it.
See 3 Darien Blue Wave defenders' eyes locked on Russell as she possesses the ball. Now she's moving around immediately, then picked up by Brown.
Yeah, Darien, of course, doing a great job hindering Russell in that first matchup, that 5-5 tie. Still looking like they're trying to use the same tactics on her. Now Janiga will still have it.
Janiga up top, a position she normally isn't, and she's going to slide back down around towards X. Usually plays kind of behind the net up there up top. Back over to Patton, and then the Rams offense still going to take their time. 3:25 remaining in this first half. Just no need to rush. Take your time. Look for the best offensive opportunity you can get.
Rams definitely waiting for that shot to emerge, waiting for that opportunity for that cutter. This one gets back around to Lane. Back to Patton. Patton going to try to make a move on the edge. Swung back around. From Crow to Tully. Patton with it back up top again. So that one's going to be called a foul on the Blue Wave.
Should be a shooting space violation. An 8-meter mark for Lexi Tully, one of the deadliest 8-meter mark takers in the FCIAC. Gets her first on the day, 2:25 remaining. An opportunity to make it 3-1 Rams. She drives inside, takes the shot, and a save by Shudell.
What a save by Shudell, as it looks like Tully just waited a little bit too long to pull the trigger. And the Darien defense crashing down on her, but great heads-up play from New Canaan to recover the deflection.
Saw Shudell win that matchup time and time again in that regular season match, stopping Lexi Tully, stopping Devin Russell from the 8-meter mark a lot of the time.
So Patton inside to Russell. Russell just wide.
Trying to go low to high, top right corner. Devin Russell taking her shot. Ball possessed again by the Rams, though, as they're able to win that chase. Then ball back up top to Patton.
So Patton will find Russell again at top.
If you're the Blue Wave, right, there is no harm in having Devin Russell and Lexi Tully maintain the ball kind of high up. You just can't let them get inside as
Tully.
Lexi Tully
What a save
gets inside.
by Hope Shudell, getting her stick down.
What a shot there from Tully, though. She barely had any room to operate. She created her own space, and then a save by Shudell there. Great save again on Lexi Tully. Hope Shudell having herself a great first half.
Yeah, Tully definitely found what looked like there was no space there. She found the avenue between the Blue Wave defense and managed to get the quick shot up, as Sophie has. You don't usually see this far up the field. We'll take it. Gives it off to Picorni. This one going to be dispossessed. And that one's going to be called a foul against Russell.
That one's tough to call if you're the referee, but you have to call it. It'll be another 12-meter mark for the Blue Wave. They'll pass out, but they do have to hurry up a little bit, right? They don't have infinite amount of time. They have 39.2 seconds left on the clock, so they're going to move the ball around, but you got to look for the best shot, and once that shot opens up, you have to take it.
So now Stafford looking inside. She's going to be dispossessed, and they're going to look like they're going to get her on the foul. So another big opportunity here emerging for the Blue Wave, as Stafford will have it on the 8-meter mark.
In a good spot, too. She's on the wing. You mentioned she does have a little bit of a tough angle because she's not right up top at the top of the arc, but she does have a good angle. She'll be able to slide inside. We'll see what she decides to do.
Stafford being aggressive, going straight in. That one's going to be swung over the net, but Darien keeps possession as Adams will now have it. Trying to move quickly here. Adams up to Von Kennel. Von Kennel going to use her speed to try to get inside. Finds Adams once again, and that one looks like either got saved or hit the post and took a big deflection out to the middle of the field.
That one found a little bit of iron. Patterson's going to take that luck anytime she can get it right, get the ball, take those lucky bounces. She does just that there, but a great offensive opportunity for the Blue Wave, right? Anytime you hit post is good. You just wish that you would have aimed a little bit more inside low, kind of just that inch, make that adjustment. But the Blue Wave have an opportunity here. They just have to drive right inside on this New Canaan defense.
We've seen Von Kennel and Adams connect on that passing quick shot before in previous matchups, and nearly did it there, but once again, saved by the iron was New Canaan. So with 8.7 seconds to go.
You got to think you can't let the Blue Wave drive right down the field here. You got that defender at the top of the arc. That's Norton, I believe.
Will take it for the Blue Wave. Bellissimo looking inside, finds her teammate, and that one's going to be a foul. Looks like Von Kennel is the one who got fouled on that one, and it is Von Kennel. So Von Kennel will take it from the 8-meter mark, and a huge opportunity with just 2.9 seconds to go in this half, and a chance to tie it going into the second half.
Can you emphasize that word huge anymore in this opportunity?
Kennel
Shot,
straight
drive
in,
inside.
And nice save by Patterson, and she will just run out the clock, and that'll end this first half, and a low-scoring affair, 2-1 Rams. So they will take it. They will take the lead, or keep the lead, I should say, going into the second half. And we talked about New Canaan's success at the end of that first quarter, but Darien saw some more success, kept New Canaan scoreless in the second half. So what did they do well in this second quarter?
Yeah, the Blue Wave just kind of turned it into the next gear, found some offensive production, got a couple of turnovers off this New Canaan offense, and then that goaltending of Hope Sudell, and then Cece Patterson at the end there, a ridiculous save on the 8-meter mark yet again, but Sudell kind of kept them in, right? Good momentum from the defensive side, then transitioned into the offensive side. You only have one goal to show for it, but this is going to be a low-scoring affair. If you can hold New Canaan's offense that has been so talented at ramping it up in the second half, if you can keep them at bay, you're in a good position. You're only down by 1 right now.
So what a great matchup here. What a great first half as this battle of FCIAC Titans continues. And we're going to step aside real quick for halftime. And once again, you're watching today's broadcast of the FCIAC Girls Lacrosse Championship on the DAF Media Network, joint venture between the Darien Foundation and the Darien Athletic Foundation. Thank you for joining us on this great evening here, and please join us for more second half action when we return.
Are you enjoying this broadcast? If you like what you see on the DAF Media Network, please help support us with a donation. DAF Media is committed to education and broadcast excellence. Your support allows us to keep bringing you high-quality community programming while giving our student volunteer broadcasters hands-on STEM experiential learning of all parts of computer networking and video production. Your donations help pay for equipment, insurance, transportation, and our award-winning advisor, and make these broadcasts possible. To donate, you can scan the Venmo QR code shown here or visit our website at dafmedia.org/donate. The link to donate is also in the description of this YouTube video. For those of you who prefer a more traditional approach, checks can be made payable to DAF Media and mailed to the address shown here. Any donation of $1,000 or more will be recognized as sponsors of our broadcasts for 1 year. Feel free to pause the broadcast to write this down. Thanks for watching and supporting DAF Media. Are you enjoying this broadcast? If you like what you see on the DAF...
The Darien Foundation was founded in 1998 by Richard and Maureen Chilton, and the thesis behind that founding was to bring technology to the Darien public school systems. And that launched us, and that got us going, and through technology and capital project initiatives, we've now funded over $5.5 million over the last 24 years to build a better Darien.
Our board really likes to get involved and assist the partners that we collaborate with, whether it's a grant for a youth project or a grant from a community service, schools, the police. Often they come to us with ideas that we help them bring to fruition.
The Darien Foundation recently awarded the Darien Police Department 2 grants. One was for laser shot and the other for Faro technology. Laser shot technology is based on decision making. It may come down to using their firearm, but in reality, we would like them to talk the situation down where you use less lethal force, and this program allows us to do that.
Police, drop the gun!
Faro technology gives us a 360-degree view, catching all the points we need to catch in our accident scene. It also takes a lot less time. This allows us to open up roads, get traffic flowing a lot quicker than we ever used to be able to. We can also map the inside of buildings. We can use it at outdoor crime scenes, indoor crime scenes. It's really used for a plethora of investigations. It's a tool that most other departments may not have their hands on just yet, and thanks to the Darien Foundation, we have that technology.
At Home in Darien is a nonprofit organization that helps senior citizens to remain living independently in their home and in the community. We provide important services to help them do so, such as transportation. Thanks to the Darien Foundation, we have this amazing new van, and we are so excited about it and what it'll do for the community.
From all standpoints, this is going to be a real improvement in the services we provide, both in terms of safety and comfort. The Darien Foundation is important to the community in the scope that they reach out to answer needs.
Post 53 is the town's ambulance service. We respond to over 1,600 emergency calls a year. We're a vital service that has been here for 51 years. The technology upgrades provided by the Darien Foundation has been a game changer for us. It's allowed us to improve our training. It has helped us hone our skills. You don't know how important an ambulance is until you actually need it. Thanks to our partnership with the Darien Foundation, who's provided all this technology and several grants throughout the years, we're able to continue to be prepared, to be well-trained and well-staffed, to respond 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whenever you need it.
The Darien Foundation is really excited to be able to launch a new program for the Darien schools, which will benefit students K through 12 in all 7 schools. This is the new robotics program, which will be an extracurricular opportunity for students to build robots, compete against other leagues, and collaborate together.
Our robotics program is going to benefit students in so many ways. Regular classes, students are always looking for the right answer, that there's only one way to answer something. Robotics is completely different. In robotics, you learn that there are multiple solutions to every problem. You learn that you have these obstacles that you have to overcome. You have to really be a creative problem solver. And most importantly, you need to persevere.
Early on in the process, the Darien Foundation reached out to administration and the offer to provide funding for a project, and it just dovetailed beautifully to the goals of the strategic plan. I look forward to continue to work closely with the Darien Foundation, both on this project and other projects down the line.
We welcome ideas for possible grants. We'd like to do grants that promote and strengthen our community. Sometimes it's from an organization, sometimes it's from our emergency service partners, or it's from the Darien Public Schools. One of our most popular grants, which was the Playground by the Sound, came to us from 4 Darien moms who said, let's get together and figure out how to build this.
Thanks to the generosity of our board members and officers, every dollar you give to the Darien Foundation goes directly to the grants that we're supporting. I invite all of you to help us move our community further and support the Darien Foundation.
Welcome back, everyone, to today's coverage on the DAF Media Network between Darien Blue Wave and New Canaan Rams big FCIAC Girls Lacrosse Championship here. And as we come into the second half, the big storyline, I think, in the first half for both these teams was the goalies. Hope Shudell and Patterson on the Rams side did a great job, just were brick walls for pretty much the whole half, and they're a big part in why it's 2-1 right now.
Yeah, you're right. Both goalies just showing out, coming out when the teams need them the most. And then both defenses, right? Both offense really haven't had quality opportunities yet. You know, they're passing the ball around looking for the quality opportunities, looking for some space to open up, a driving lane, maybe something, a cutter gets open. I mean, the only cutter we've seen open was Maddie Tully that one time, the first goal of the game where she cut wide open. The other goal that New Canaan scored was off a turnover where Emma Rowe was wide open one-on-one, and then the Blue Wave goal, really just great job moving the ball around, found an opening lane, but that was taking herself off an 8-meter mark. So really nothing working for both offenses. We'll see what they do in the second half.
So once again, the Rams continuing their dominance at the draw circle with Devin Russell as they went once again another draw. Just a quick reminder that you are watching today's coverage on the DAF Media Network joint venture between the Darien Foundation and the Darien Athletic Foundation. Thank you for joining us on this perfect evening for this championship lacrosse game between such a great rivalry, as now Russell will have it.
And Devin Russell is 5-0 inside that draw circle. Talk about showing up inside the draw circle. We talked about how important it was going to be. It hasn't played that much of a factor in this game because the defensive have been so good and the goalies have been especially good, superb. But, you know, it still helps to win that draw, kind of get offensive possession and wear down the other defense.
Yeah, and you got to think, as those defenses wear out, that draw circle is just going to become more and more of an advantage for this New Canaan team if they continue to keep winning, if their offense will be able to maybe move a little bit quicker relative to their defensive counterpart on the Blue Wave side.
Especially late game runs, right? When you rack up a couple goals, that draw circle becomes extremely important, especially on that defensive side because you're just trying to stop the bleeding. But on the offensive side, it becomes even more important because then you can just keep on scoring in a game like this where goals are so hard to find. You know, we could not see a goal in the second half. I hope we do see a goal, but the way this game has been going, we just haven't seen anybody really find the back of the net because the goalies have been so good.
And of course, you're right, we may not see a goal in this second half, and if they limit the 8-meter mark opportunities, then it definitely could be a very limited opportunities for both sides as they both, once again, will be taking their time in this second half with their offensive plays.
And if you like defensive lacrosse, this is definitely the game for you. Even if you're just a pure lacrosse fan, you got a matchup here, this number 6 team in the country, New Canaan, facing off against a number 10 team in the country, Darien, the 1 seed in the FCIAC tournament, facing off against the 3 seed. You know, it's just such a great matchup. It's been the 5th consecutive year they're meeting in the championship as well, and it seems like anytime these teams meet, it's much-watched TV.
So Haas doing a nice job there on the defensive side, denied Patton down the inside and then denied Russell, as that pass will go astray for the Rams and will nearly go out of bounds, but that one's going to be saved maybe, or maybe not actually. That one's going to be a turnover, so the Blue Wave will regain possession and survive that first win on the draw circle by New Canaan.
Yeah, that was Janica that the ball just slipped away from her. She stepped out of bounds. She picked up the ball, the ground ball, but stepped out of bounds. The ball went off a ricochet, I believe, off of Maddie Tully. So picked up by Janica, but possession to the Blue Wave, and here's Sadie Stafford weaving her way across the middle of the field into the offensive zone.
Stafford maybe a little dormant here in that first half, and they're definitely going to look to get her going as the second half continues on. As now this one will be swung right around, looks like Hapgood.
Except for the few 8-meter marks, too. We've seen a really clean game from both of these teams. No penalties. You can't afford a penalty in a game like this because that puts you women down for 2 minutes. You just can't do it against a team of this caliber in such a tight game. But both teams really playing fundamentally sound. You see the Darien play drawn up yet again. Here's Stafford running through the sea, running around the blob of New Canaan and Darien girls.
And, of course, in this game, playing fundamentally sound is a necessity, as either of these teams will make you pay if you make any sort of mental mistakes or unforced errors, as now we see the Blue Wave try to set up their offense with Hapgood at X. Hapgood trying to make a move herself. And she will be taken down inside that 8-meter arc, and that one's going to be a penalty against New Canaan.
Yeah, and that's a tough play, right? If you're Crowley, once Hapgood gains that edge on you, kind of gets that step ahead of you, and is driving inside, there's nothing you can do as Hapgood turn the corner quickly. Got to step in front of Crowley, and all you can do is foul and trust in Patterson. But here's Hapgood with an 8-meter mark, a chance to neutralize this game, even at 2.
So Hapgood with the opportunity here. She's going to go straight in. She shoots, and that one's going to be dispossessed before she can even get it to Patterson. So big stop there for the Rams.
Great check there from behind on Hapgood. Hapgood not able to get the shot off, as you mentioned, Thomas. What a great defensive play from the Rams and the defensive of both of these teams, right? You know, there's only 3 goals. That can't be overstated enough. But the fact that both these teams, with the offenses and the offensive weapons that they have, haven't been able to score just shows how good the defenses have been playing today.
Now Patterson will be pressed decently high in that offensive zone.
And a lot of these girls, too, play with each other, right, during the offseason. So it's more than just a rivalry. It's a rivalry between friends that know each other, are good friends, best friends. You know, we talk about it, New Canaan, Darien, the rivalry known throughout the state, throughout even maybe the nation, but probably the best rivalry in the FCIAC because they're so close and there's so many connections between these two teams.
Yeah, and they see each other just so often. As you mentioned, that familiarity will definitely play some sort of factor as they know each other's strengths personally, and they're going to be even more eager to play against each other. As now Russell will take it. Gives it back over to Tully. Tully now swinging it around. Lane there at X. Gives it back off. Back up top to Tully. Russell sticks her stick out, makes a nice grab. Tully looks inside, finds her sister, and that one's going to be saved by Hope Schudel.
Maddie Tully trying to find her second of the day from the same exact spot. The pass inside from Lexi to Maddie. That one sails just a little bit high. Probably Schudel got a stick on that one too as well, but New Canaan retains the possession. Going to continue to apply pressure to this Blue Wave defense.
So the Tully to Tully connection nearly paid off for the Rams. That shot just off the mark, as Russell will now have it and give it right back off to Tully. So Lexi Tully with it. Now going to give it off, but receive it right back.
See the Rams again just move the ball around. We've seen both offenses just move the ball around, look for the opportunities, although they have been really kind of rare.
Patton finds a space inside, shot, and that one's going to be wide. She found it right inside the space. She's opened up, as it looked like Lane was clearing out of the middle and drew one of the Blue Wave defenders, and Patton saw that and nearly had it, but just a little bit wide.
Patton, the UPenn commit, the junior, such a smart player, right? Noticed that the Blue Wave defender was being drawn out of the circle, out of the arc. And she slides right in there. The shot opportunity, not able to convert. The Rams offense will retain it, though, and they're going to call an 8-meter, or my apologies, a shooting space violation, which will reward the New Canaan offense with an 8-meter mark. This will be Emma Rowe. She already has a goal on the day off the breakaway. She'll have another opportunity here, but she'll have to get past Hope Shootout.
So Emma Rowe with a chance. And there she gets it in. What a big shot there from Emma Rowe, and she'll double her goal tally on the day and scores goal number 2. And that is going to lead to a timeout, Blue Wave, as they try to talk things over.
Nothing you can do, right? If you're the Blue Wave, you've leaned on Shudell for most of this game. You've gotten the key saves when you needed them, and that one just too much for her to handle. Emma Rowe with the bounce shot, perfectly placed. And Thomas, there's not much room to get it past a goalie like Shudell or Patterson. Emma Rowe finds a slim portion of the net that she slides that one right past. Shudell gets it in. Again, doubling her goal tally. Emma Rowe being a factor here. The Columbia commit, again, another junior on this Rams team, now makes it 3-1, 44 minutes and 44 seconds left in this third quarter.
So it definitely feels like in this one, this New Canaan offense is definitely controlling the pace and possession in this one, especially off the draw circle, and then just on their offensive possessions, they're making more out of it than Darien is. And that Darien defense just trying to hold strong, but eventually, they're just going to crack naturally as good as this New Canaan offense is, and it just feels like their offense for the Darien side just needs to get going here in this one. So as both teams break the huddles, we're going to get this third quarter action continuing here with just under 5 minutes to go. Again, you're watching today's coverage on the DAF Media Network, joint venture between the Darien Foundation and the Darien Athletic Foundation, as Picorni will now enter the draw circle once again to face Russell, who has just been unstoppable from that draw circle so far this game.
Yeah, who else inside the draw circle for the Blue Wave? Coach Linley changing things up, right? Putting in Picorni, trying another kind of attempt, giving Picorni a chance. She did put up a good fight the last time she was in the draw circle against Devin Russell, and you've just seen Devin Russell dominate. When you need her, she shows up. Again, the Boston College commit, Devin Russell, showing up when the Rams need someone reliable inside the draw circle. And Coach Woods is just going to keep Devin Russell inside the draw circle. No need to change that.
Yeah, Russell on a roll so far, because now this one's going to be popped up. And once again, won by Russell. And she will take it for her squad. So they've thrown Wren, Walsh, and Picorni at Russell, and so far Russell remains unstoppable. As now Tully will take it and going to give it off to her teammate there on the wing.
Yeah, and that's something that Darien, the Blue Wave, didn't struggle with in their semifinal matchup, right? They saw offensive production from really everyone on the team, putting up more than 10 goals. You just saw production from everyone down the line. Annabelle Adams, Sadie Stafford, Kelly Holmes, Hope Hapgood, really everyone contributing. And tonight, you just seen the Darien offense kind of come to a standstill.
So now Rowe taking some contact, but staying with it. She'll give it off to Tully, who swings it around. So it looks like Janiga looking for a teammate inside. Janiga still with it. This time gives it off to Patton. Patton find teammate inside. That one's going to be shot, and that one's going to be a goal. Devin Russell with the goal. As she found that space inside, made a quick turn and shoot. And that one is going to extend this Ram lead from 3-1 to 4-1.
Yeah, and the Rams offense catching fire in this second half. Janiga moving around the outside right, drawing the Darien Blue Wave defense to kind of shift to the side closest to us, kind of move it, take that extra step in, And then it looked like she was just going to bring it back up top, but instead she caught them off guard, found Devin Russell inside, put it right over, gave it right to Russell, and she converted. Devin Russell, you can't give her opportunities. New Canaan found a soft pocket in the Darien defense again and scores.
So Devin Russell being a huge component in this game so far on the draw circle on the offensive side. And this time she's going to find the back of the net herself.
Darien needs to find some offense. 3 minutes, 30 seconds left in this third quarter. Normally you'd say you have a lot of time. Devin Russell wins another draw on the day. That has to be the story of the game. But, you know, you're down by 3 against a very good New Canaan team. And if it was the other way, we'd be saying the same thing, right? You're down against one of the best teams in the country. You're down by 3. You need to get a goal, get some offense working.
Yeah, as we mentioned, that there is a decent amount of time left. But unfortunately for Darien, they're not finding a lot of that time in the offensive side as Russell keeps on winning these draws. And that they're going to need to make a quick stop on defense, going to need to find a turnover for their squad and try to set up their offense and then make the most of any offensive opportunities that they get.
Yeah, and how much of this third quarter has Darien really spent in that offensive possession, inside that offensive zone? They really haven't been able to set up a sustained offensive possession. They got a couple shots. They got the 8-meter mark, but other than that, it's been all New Canaan just wearing down this Darien defense.
Yeah, especially for these last few minutes, Darien has yet to find the ball on their stick as Patton will take it at top once again. Now New Canaan offense just playing very still. They try to waste any clock they can, try to run this third quarter out and go into the fourth quarter up 3 goals with a huge advantage. Just totally makes a quick move inside, and she's going to get swarmed and denied. They're picked up by Janiga.
They're just going to pass it out again, you know, just kind of set things up, right? Reset things up, and maybe even take this down to that under that minute mark where you're just kind of taking time off the clock, chewing some clock. You know, you have 1:50 seconds left in this third quarter. You have possession. You're up by 3, so no need to rush it if you're the New Canaan Rams.
So now Maddie Tully on it at X. They try to make a quick move, wrapping around the goal, pass it out to Patton. Patton finds her teammate inside, looked like Russell. Excuse me, that was Lane inside. This one's gonna be swung back around.
New Canaan now bunching together. You see 3 sets of 2 teammates. You'll probably see one try to set the pick for the other, but you gotta apply pressure to Russell right now. She's just standing back there by herself. No pressure coming towards her. They're trying to draw a Blue Wave defender to come out, go try to pressure her, but again, Devin Russell in no rush. She'll just hold this ball down, then she'll make her move with about 30 seconds left.
Yeah, so Russell able to just wait there and waste some more clock for the Ram squad. As now Lexi Tully will take it out on the wing. Going against Bellissimo there. Tully will take it. So now New Canaan just content with continuing to swing it around as this clock runs down to 20 seconds left in this third quarter. Tully with it once again on the wing, passes it off to Russell.
This is where if you're the Blue Wave, right, you hope that there was a shot clock. Here's Devin Russell,
now Russell
wide
inside.
Open inside.
And the pass from Maddie Tully that was at X finds Russell cutting inside, and Russell just got past her Blue Wave defender and found the open space, and she'll get another one on the board. So Russell continuing to make her presence felt. So 5-1 is your score in favor of the Rams with just 8 seconds left to go in this third quarter.
The New Canaan bench really lighting it up on the sideline right now. They're feeling all the happy feelings that you get when you're up 5-1. Gave it right to Devin Russell, and that's a save that Shootout, if she would have made, that would have been an unreal save, but you can't say she should have made that save because Devin Russell was all alone in the middle of the net after holding it for about a minute. She comes around, gives it off, then finds the ball herself. You know, the ball always finds your best players. Ball right over to Devin Russell, goes inside and shoots and scores.
So now Stafford will be subbed in at the draw circle for the Blue Wave, and I think we're just seeing this Blue Wave defense, just maybe getting a little tired out as they've had to do a lot of work, especially in this third quarter so far. So Stafford with it. This one going to be popped up off the draw. And once again, that one's going to be won by New Canaan. Patton takes the Patton, tries to send a big pass down to Tully. But that one will end the third quarter. So New Canaan with a 5-1 lead. And that one, a huge, huge quarter for New Canaan as they extend their lead from just 1 goal to 4 goals.
Yeah, they're up 2-1 going into the second half. And then they find themselves now up 5-1 after putting on another good second half offensive quarter. They put in some work, right, get 3 goals, really dominated that quarter. If you're Coach Lindley, there's got to be some desperation out here, down by 4. But Shudell definitely struggled a little bit because her defense collapsed a couple of times, really. No opportunities for her to get a couple of those easy saves, build back the confidence after you let one in. So Shudell's going to try to get back on her feet, but a great job by the Rams offense who now find themselves up 5-1.
So New Canaan with the big advantage as we enter the final quarter in this girls FCIAC championship. And we're just going to step aside real quick. And once again, you're watching today's coverage on the DAF Media Network joint venture between the Darien Foundation and the Darien Athletic Foundation. Thank you for joining us, and we'll be right back for fourth quarter action. So welcome back here to the girls FCIAC Lacrosse Final. Darien, New Canaan. It is 5-1 in favor of the Rams as we enter this fourth quarter. And so now as both teams get ready on the draw circle, we're going to continue to see Devin Russell. We'll see what she can do on the draw circle, but for Darien, this definitely feels like a must-win draw as they want to try to get their offense going as soon as possible with just 12 minutes left to go in this game.
Yeah, and you'll see the 5th different girl go in and take the draw for the Blue Wave now. So the Blue Wave coach Lindley just trying to figure out how to stop Devin Russell from winning all these draws. I don't think she's lost one tonight.
Yeah, Russell has just been completely unstoppable from the draw circle. And let's see what Darien can do on the offensive side if they manage to get the ball on the draw. And this one is going to be popped up and won by the Blue Wave. What a big win. But this time this is dispossessed. But still won as Haas is going to get on top of it as Adams will now take it for the Blue Wave. So a big, big win on the draw circle for the Blue Wave.
Yeah, and you can kind of feel it over here in the Blue Wave fan section, right? They're just happy that they now have offensive possession. You really didn't see them possess the ball that much in the third quarter. They had 2 shots on goal. Both were 8-meter attempts, but other than that, the well went dry for the Blue Wave.
So Darien cannot waste a single offense possession, it feels like, as Von Kennel shoots, and that one's going to be saved by Patterson as they try to go quickly. And we'll see what kind of pressure Darien puts on the defensive side.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, right, to see how high Darien comes up in pressure, how far they come up to pressure. Now they're pressuring Izzy Apelt, the Georgetown commit, senior captain on this Rams team. She just gives it off to her teammate over to Reagan Quinn.
So Katie Walsh applying the pressure there, and that one is going to be intercepted by the Blue Wave as they're going to try to move it down the field as quickly as possible. Stafford with it over the 30-yard line. Looks like she's got Adams on the right side. Decides to take it herself. So Darien with a nice turnover there to regain possession. But they've got to find the back of the net.
Yeah, you'll just see Darien right here kind of increase their
Walsh
pace of
making
play.
a move through. And that one's going to be, it looks like it's going to be saved. A goal line save for Patterson.
What a save there from Patterson. Kept it kind of like in the hockey playoffs right now. That puck, I know in the Carolina game a couple of nights ago you saw that, but CC Patterson keeps that one out of the net just by maybe half an inch. What a save there from CC Patterson, showing why she's a 5-star commit headed to Notre Dame. She's only a junior though.
So the Darien player is convinced that that ball went over the goal line, but to the refs, they had the best angle on it, and that was a no goal for the Blue Wave and a great save by Patterson.
We might have a replay up here, right, Thomas, with the great DAF media crew. We have a good replay. We'll take a look at this one. We'll see the shot here.
So Walsh cutting through the New Canaan defenders, and it looks like that one just bounced up but didn't quite get across the goal.
Slow it down here a little bit. You'll see this. Almost a kick save by Patterson. And that ball just flirting with going over the line.
Looks like it just sat just behind Patterson's foot there at the end, but didn't quite roll over the line.
Another play, right? If you're Patterson, you'll take the ball luck in a game like this. That would have been a big goal for the Blue Wave. It would have inspired definitely a lot more energy. You see the sideline getting a little bit frustrated. The entire Darien Blue Wave team right now getting a little bit frustrated because they just haven't, things just haven't been going their way. Now New Canaan with another possession, you'll assume that they'll try to lengthen this offensive possession too, right? Milk the clock a little bit. No need to rush up by 4. 9:35 remaining in this fourth quarter.
So I believe on the transition play, it looks like they got Stafford for a foul. So Darien will be a player down going to this defensive possession. Because now Janiga will give it off to Russell. This one going back to Russell. So Canaan looking for cutters inside.
Yeah, and you'll just see again, right, New Canaan kind of lengthen out this possession. No need to rush. You still do want to score, though, right? Take advantage of having an extra player on the field or one greater than that of the Blue Wave. You're up by 4, 5-2-1. You can't get too ahead of yourself, right? If you allow Darien back into this game could be tied up very quickly. So don't focus on the fact that there's an amount of time going. Just keep on pushing. And I'm sure Coach Woods is stressing that.
Yeah, this Darien offense, you definitely, if you're the New Canaan Rams, you do not want to see them get going on a roll, get the momentum shifting their way. But that one's going to be a foul on the Darien defense. And so now Patton will have a big opportunity to extend the Ram lead here from the 8-meter mark. Inside, shoots, and she's going to score. So Patton will find the back of the net, and the Rams will put up goal number 6 on the day.
Sydney Patton, the 8-meter mark, the bounce shot. You just see her timing on the shot. Look, right, she waits just that extra second, then takes the bounce shot, goes high, not stick side. It went through her legs there, too, as well. Great shot there from Patton. Perfect placement, and that puts the Rams up by 5. Great job by the Rams, taking advantage of opportunities, and you still got the man up right now. You still have the woman up, extra attacker on the field, so take advantage of that if you're the Rams. And if you're the Blue Wave, you need a face-off draw, a win here, right? So then you can take the rest of the time off that disadvantage, off the penalty, and then move into your offensive game.
Yeah, every draw for the Blue Wave becoming increasingly more important, as now there's just over 8 minutes left in this game, and the Blue Wave down 5. Once again, in order to get that draw, you got to go past Devin Russell, who's just been unstoppable so far despite that last draw. This one going to be popped up. Haas looking for it. And Russell comes off the draw circle and goes and gets her own rebound there.
Not only flips the ball up in the air towards her side, but then able to retain possession. New Canaan now back into the offensive zone. Emma Rowe gonna have to play keep away. She was pressured there. Open up slot now back over to Devin Russell, but what an offensive explosion the Rams have had in the second half. Stafford comes right out of the box and pressures Russell.
So Russell receiving a lot of contact there on the New Canaan sideline.
got to be careful, right? Definitely an interesting approach by Stafford to come out of the box, then immediately engage in some combat. You don't want to end up in the box again, go back to back in just under a couple seconds once coming out of the box. But Devin Russell does the smart thing, retains possession.
Stafford nearly found herself right back in the box as soon as she came out of it. But the ref's going to talk something over here, just making sure they get the right call.
They are all in agreement. You know, the refs do such a great job in these high-level games, these games where there's a lot of tension in the air, especially in a Darien and a big rivalry matchup in a championship game. So thank you to the refs, but a Rams wide-open shot in front. Lexi Tully.
Tully
get a couple sticks weighed on her. She'll retain possession. She'll be given an 8-meter mark at the top of the arc.
Tully given all kinds of space there as a lot of Darien defenders just went right towards the ball and lost Tully behind them, and maybe just were forced to give a foul and try to live another day here with Hope Shudell in the net.
Yeah, you got to wonder, right, if that's a little bit off of desperation, right? You're trying to get that ball. You're a little bit more desperate now that there's only 7 minutes left to play in regulation, but you got to wonder if they're just getting a little bit too desperate, then all converging on the ball and leaving New Canaan attackers open and with room.
So Darien giving a little break there on the 8-meter mark. It's going to be a violation against New Canaan. Looks like they went a little early, but big turnover there for the Rams. And so they will just be content with passing it back to Patterson.
What a great check from behind there from the New Canaan defense on the ride. And then again, that's going to secure you another offensive possession. The Blue Wave now, time running a little bit short.
What a snipe behind the Blue Wave defensive line inside there, and that one's going to be a goal. It looks like it might have been Maddie Tully there through the Blue Wave defense.
And that was Maddie Tully, her second on the day, pushed from behind too, so finishes through the contact. Maddie Tully, a ridiculous goal there on the breakaway, and that's 2 for the junior on the day.
So what a great vision from the New Canaan offense, and just found Maddie Tully just running right through the Darien defense, right through a big gap, and Tully just using her speed towards the net, and once again, like you said, just getting pushed down, but still making the shot and still making the goal. So Rams go up 7-1 with 6:17 left in this one.
Yeah, and what's next for the Blue Wave, right, Thomas? You know, you haven't been able to win a draw against Devin Russell tonight, or you may have won one, but you still haven't been able to consistently win them. What's next? You keep putting in different players. You've seen Cameron Picorni, Catherine Wren. You've seen a couple other Blue Wave midfielders in the draw circle, but what's next if you're the Blue Wave? Now you're down by 6, and 6:17 remaining. You really haven't had any offensive opportunities.
I mean, for the Blue Wave, I think it's desperation time at this point, especially if you do not want to draw. You have to continue to keep up that pressure, but they've got to find a way to do it without fouling. They've got to find a way to get that check without causing the slash as well, and just try to find something. And so
and my apologies, that'll be a penalty on the Blue Wave, so it'll automatically give the draw control to the Rams. Ball moves back to Patterson, then gives it off to her teammate. The Rams in good position now. They have the man-up advantage for 2 more minutes, so taking more time off the clock.
So Darien continuing to hurt themselves in this one. And it just feels like New Canaan now, especially with the offensive possession, just has all the energy, all the momentum, and all the advantage to just run out the clock. But what a nice turnover there for the Blue Wave. Nice check as Haas will look to try to get it to her teammate. But Haas fouled in the process.
Hey, you saw Walsh there, right, come away with the ball, then pass it over to her teammate. We'll see if they send someone to the box. We'll see Sydney Patton running off to the sideline here.
So possibly both these teams going to be down a player, which will even them out.
And they both will be. Sydney Patton now in the box for the Rams. That'll neutralize it. The Blue Wave and the Rams now each have a man down. But the Blue Wave in desperate need of some offense, down 7-1, 5:35 remaining.
So Walsh will give it to Von Kennel. Von Kennel going down the center. Goes off to the left side. Going to give it to her teammate. And looks like it might be an official's time. as they try to talk something over here.
We'll see what they're talking about here.
So play resumes. Von Kennel with it. Over to Walsh. Walsh makes a nice move inside, looking for the goal. Von Kennel fakes the shot, tries to get around the New Canaan defenders, but runs into a wall of about 3 of them.
Yeah, definitely not easy to get past this New Canaan defense. They've shown time and time again today that they kind of pack up together, and it's almost impossible to get past 3 New Canaan defenders. And on the other side, too, it's impossible to get past 3 great Darien defenders as Stafford takes the shot a little bit high above the head of Patterson. Just misses a little bit high.
Yeah, Stafford found a small opening there and tried to take the quick shot, but just leaves it a little high. As now they find Holmes cutting across the middle. Now to Adams. Adams finding that wall of New Canaan defenders, but she will be fouled.
See if her foot was inside the inner arc or if she's going to be given a 12-meter mark. She will be given an 8-meter mark there. Annabelle Adams, an opportunity to add 1 to the scoreboard. My apologies, it is a 12-meter mark, not an 8-meter mark, was in between 2.
So Adams not given the opportunity she may have hoped for on that foul. And with just under 4.5 minutes to go, this Blue Wave offense feels a little bit impossible at this point to find 6 goals to try to send this one in overtime. But they're going to continue to try here, trying to move the ball quickly.
Yeah, 6 goals is more than they scored in their first meeting against the Rams. They've only scored 1 today, so maybe 6 is asking a lot, but definitely still a possibility. It'd just be tough. They have to get 1 soon. You know, time winding down, 3:50 remaining in this 4th quarter, so in desperate need of a goal.
Blue Wave back on the ball here. That one shot inside, saved by Patterson, shot by Hapgood, picked up by Holmes. Holmes off the recovery is going to find the back of the net and put that away for a goal. So 7-2 as Holmes finds another goal off the deflection.
Nothing you can do there as we see the replay, the shot. We get the save and the goal. Great job on replay. But you see there, right, the save, initial save, stop on Hapgood. And then nothing you can do right if you're Patterson. That ball picked up right in front of you in the stick of Holmes. Takes a shot and scores. So nothing you can do if you're Patterson, right? But a good start for the Blue Wave offense getting back into this game. Will they have enough time, though?
Yeah, it definitely feels like time is running out for the Blue Wave. So now back on the draw circle for both teams. It's Blue Wave vital that they win this draw. We're just under 3:40 to go. Still getting set on the circle.
Devin Russell has been in there for the Rams the entire day, and she just keeps on winning them as she wins another draw, this time against Picorni.
So Russell continuing her dominance and still being a big factor in this one as Norton will take this one.
The defender out there has to get the ball out of her stick, right? Get it in the offensive side of the ball. Here's Devin Russell weaving away inside. My apologies, that was Lexi Tully. Going to dish it off to Rowe, then back up top to Patton, who's just going to play keep away from the Blue Wave defense right now.
So Russell now giving it from Patton. Russell finds a couple of defenders in her way. She passes it wide to the far side of the field. Now taken inside. Rams not looking to shoot the ball at all here as the clock ticks just under 3 minutes. It is Tully on the ball. Tully's going to give it off. Now finds Patton. Patton staying with it. Patton given over to Rowe.
And really no need to score. You'll see Hope Shudell come out of the crease play as that extra Darien defender. But no need to score if you're the Rams, right? You're up 7-2. You can kind of start tasting victory right about now. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining, but just going to play keep away, play a clean, respectful, and end this game respectfully.
Yeah, both these teams just trying to play hard till the end, not forcing anything, but with 2:30 left, Rams definitely feel like they already have one hand on the trophy for their squad. So now they'll just take a second to resume play here. And once again, you're watching today's coverage of Girls FCIAC Lacrosse semifinal on the DAF Media Network, joint venture between the Darien Foundation and the Darien Athletic Foundation. Thank you for joining us on today's broadcast.
Row in between Vrooman and Holmes. She's going to try to escape the double team. She does, really shifty. Then feeds it over to Apelt. They're just going to move it back, then pass it back. My apologies, they're going to move it up. They're just going to keep, again, play keep away. It looked like they were going to pass it back to Patterson, but they're just going to keep moving the ball. Body-to-body contact.
So big contact there between Patton and a Blue Wave defender. That Blue Wave defender being Quinn Kennedy. So Kennedy will get called for the foul.
Ball almost lost there from the Rams, but then picked back up by Patton.
Now Russell with it, far out on the wing, and whistle blown.
A minute and 40 seconds left. Rams up 7-2. We really haven't seen any timeouts called today either, right, Thomas? You saw Coach Winley not really use them when her team kept giving up goals. Definitely interesting strategy. She's called 1 out of the 3 that she had. You think she should have called them earlier, maybe?
Yeah, maybe just to try to settle down her side, try to get something going. But honestly, they just haven't had much possession either, which is important to know. And you just can't call a timeout if you don't have the ball. She called one off a New Canaan goal to try to settle her squad down, try to get back in it. But when you're just not winning draws, there's not much you can do and not many plays you can set up if you don't have the ball.
They're going to put a couple extra seconds on the clock. New Canaan's going to maintain possession. Ball in the stick of Quinn. Feeds it off to her teammate, then back up top to Russell. A minute 30 seconds left here in the FCIAC Championship, the 2024 FCIAC Championship.
So Russell going to give it off. Blue Wave defenders continuing to pound the pressure, and maybe just a little bit too much there. As Blue Wave going to get called for a foul and go another player down. Once again. So just 84 seconds left on the clock.
It's definitely a tough kind of moment to take a foul, right? You're already, looks like you might not win this game, and then now you're sent to the box for the final 2 minutes. You know, there's a minute 24 seconds left, so she'll spend the rest of game time in the box.
Definitely a rough way to end off your FCIAC championship here, but it won't change the score or outcome of this game at this point. It is 7-2, and New Canaan looking very convincingly like they are going to leave this field as FCIAC champs. And the Blue Wave going to force a nice turnover there. Bellissimo taking it across the 50 now at the 40. But she'll get dispossessed herself.
That was Lexi totally doing a great job on the ride, then feeds it back up to Rowe.
So Rowe wide
on the
open.
breakaway.
Down the field as every Blue Wave player was just trying to make the most of that offense possession. And Rowe can pass it over to Tully, who then gives it to Patton. And Patton now under 50 seconds here will just try to milk this clock, but another foul is going to be called against Darien. So clock will stop.
Possession going to be retained by the Rams. Patton, then back over. We'll see if they decide to shoot. Lexi totally doing the smart thing, right? No need to shoot that.
So
up 7-2, 42 seconds left. But no need to shoot that, right? No need to cause any more drama in this heated rivalry because it might come back to bite you. You might get some karma if you take that shot.
Yeah, both these teams might anticipate seeing each other in that SEAC playoffs. They will definitely have a lot of motivation to try to get a win and even the score on their side. As now the Rams, as the clock ticks down to just 30 seconds, they will just swing this around. This one goes over to Rowe, now to Patton, and you can hear the New Canaan crowd start to feel it now as they get up on their feet and they're cheering. New Canaan continuing to pass this one around. Just under 10 seconds to go. Nothing the Blue Wave can do now. 3 seconds. Russell will just give the ball off, and the New Canaan squad is your 2024 FCIAC champs. 7-2 is your final score. New Canaan, the 1 seed, coming into this, showing just how they were the 1 seed, and they're going to leave this game with a trophy. And what a big win for the New Canaan Rams tonight. And what did they do best? How did they come out here with just a convincing 7-2 win?
Yeah, you mentioned that second half. They really got the offense going. They took control, took possession quite literally and figuratively. They didn't let Darien control the ball, possess the ball, move the ball around quickly, then found open pockets really from wearing down that Darien defense. Really doing a great job moving the ball quickly. And that's what resulted in them being the FCIAC championships. Your 2024 FCIAC champion New Canaan Rams out there on the field have won 3 of the last 4 FCIAC championships, besides for last year when, of course, you guys had Chloe Humphrey. But a great job, great effort by both teams here tonight. 2-1 at halftime, then Rams kind of took control, but a great fight from the Blue Wave. And what a game on the call. Grateful to be on the call with you tonight, Thomas.
So both these teams will be the top seeds in the SEAC playoffs as of right now. And so still a lot to play ahead for them, but what a great way for the New Canaan Rams in finishing out and following up what was a great regular season. They found the FCIAC champion. They found themselves as FCIAC champions as they leave the field. And just going to give a quick shout out to today's crew. We have Ethan Bonner directing, Ava Stone on instant replay, Andrew Maslon on graphics, Leon Chen, Charlotte Kaiser, Isaac Brea, and Trion Pancanti on the cameras today. And, of course, big thanks to our advisor, Damian Andrew, as always, doing a great job behind the scenes and coaching us all up. And I'm Thomas Aponte. I'm joined alongside by John Frieders. It's been a great game. Thank you all for joining us at home. And we want to wish you a good night and a good rest of your week.
Round of applause for the Darien Blue Wave. I don't know if it's just because I can hear through the headphones or if it's just like Caesar's right next to me. I don't know if you can tell. And now, the 2024 FCIAC Girls Lacrosse Champion, the New Canaan Rams. The captains, please come out for your championship trophy. To recognize the MVP for tonight's contest. From New Canaan, number 8, Devin Russell. We'd like to thank both teams on a very well-played game. Good luck to each of them in the state playoffs. Congratulations. Congratulations, and please drive home safely.